Mexico City is wild, crazy and enormous. And we loved it. Apparently there's more museums and galleries than anywhere else in the world. So we made a list of the key cultural sites and headed straight to the Lucha Libre. Part theatre, sport and circus, it's Mexico's unofficial national sport. And it's so easy to see why. With characters like this Donald Trump inspired one for the crowd to go completely crazy at. Obviously though, we stayed calm and reserved throughout. It was easily one of the funniest things we did in Mexico. Now we had 6 weeks in CDMX, and I want to keep this short, so I'll have to hurry through just a few of the places we went. Xochimilco is a unique cross between Venice and Benidorm. Colourful gondolas, floating mariachis, hammered Mexicans, and a really creepy doll island. What's not to love? Coyoacán is a beautiful and upmarket part of town, but is undoubtedly most famous for being the home of Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. She seems cool, if a little crazy, and I was amazed to find out she had an affair with Leo Trotsky. Most of the work in the house is hers, and to see the best of Rivera's, we headed to the Palacio Nacional, where there's loads of these huge murals adorning the walls. That's in the part of town called the Historic Centre, which contains the heroically retro skyscraper Latinoamericana. You think you'd get a good view from up there, but the windows have basically never been cleaned. And so we went up the Monument of the Revolution instead, which I really love. Throughout our time, we stayed in an area called La Condesa. Mainly because we were told it was like East London, and as soon as we got there, we found this bakery. There's markets all the time, and loads of cool walkways and parks. The originally named Parque Mexico, I think, was my favourite. Partly because it's so small that you can run a few laps and not feel quite as guilty when you sack it off after 20 minutes. That said, the biggest and most impressive park in Mexico is also just a short walk away, and it has a super cool silent garden for chilling out in. It also houses the National Modern Art Gallery and the Anthropology Museum, which is so big. All in all though, Mexico City is just fun to walk around in. There's graffiti, art, and loads of mad buildings. This crazy pattern thing, for instance, is the university. Oh, and this is the student library, which I think looks like something out of The Matrix. And this mad art gallery that honestly has the worst collection of art I think I've ever seen. And in a really posh part of town, there's this amazing building that is now inhabited only by squatters since the earthquake in 1985, which also left loads of other buildings sinking or splitting around town. Despite it being so fun to hang out in, we did still manage to head out of town to visit some ruins. We went to the Pyramid of the Moon and Sun just outside the city, which were incredible. We were so enthused, we went an hour and a half out of town to a different place called Teotihuacan. That was not cool. Turns out the downside of living in a city of 20 million people is that if just 1% of them pick the same activity as you, well, this is the result. It was a pretty tough hike up to the top, and what made it worse, other than the crowds, was that when we got there, the pyramid's pretty rubbish, to be honest. Beyond that, we could probably go on about the food forever too, but two things stand out. Firstly, Mexican sushi. It's seriously inauthentic, with loads of avocado, cream cheese and fried things here and there, but it's so tasty, and regularly 2 for 1. Secondly, churros. There's a place called El Morro that's around 100 years old and is permanently busy. Al loved it, but personally, I don't get it. It just seems like crap donuts to me. And does anyone really want to drink pure chocolate that regularly?